Good evening, everyone. Haven't reached the hour of 6:30 on Monday, June 19th, 2023. I call this meeting of the corporation for the Township of Terrace Bay to order. Declaration, the Council of the Township of Terrace Bay hereby acknowledges that we are in the Robinson Superior Treaty Territory, and the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and the Métis. Item 3. Additions, deletions, or amendments. We have one addition. Chris, which one is it?
Yeah, I'd like 9D to be brought forward. Is that the correct language?
Brought up, yeah.
Brought up
to 8.
Move to 8.
Your worship. Perfect, thank you.
Okay, any other? Okay. Hearing that, we have a motion moved by Councillor Johnson, second by Councillor Aduno. Resolved that the Monday, June 19th, 2023 agenda be approved as amended. All in favor? Okay, carried. Any disclosures of interest? Hearing none, moving on. Adoption of minutes. Moved by Councillor Aduno, second by Councillor Johnson, resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting held Monday, June 5th, 2023 be approved as presented. Any questions on that motion? All in favor? Carried. Item moved by Councillor Johnson, second by Councillor Aduno, resolved that the minutes of the special council meeting held Thursday, June 8th, 2023 be approved as presented. Any questions on that motion? All in favor? Carried. Okay, presentations, delegations, there's none. Report from administration. John, go ahead.
Thank you, your worship. So before council is a report with respect to the amendment of the Tesla supercharger agreement. So in August 2018, council passed the bylaw 27-2018 to enter an agreement with Tesla for lease and installation of the supercharger stations at the end of Simcoe Plaza. Tesla has reached out and they wish to amend the original agreement with the following. All references in the agreement to Tesla vehicles shall be deleted and replaced with electric vehicles. So the plan here is to allow other branded electric vehicles to charge at the superstation. I believe Tesla's superstation is a class 3 charger, which is a lot faster than some of the other chargers that are out there. So it seems like a good thing. And really, it's just a first step. Previously, as I said, or as I laid out, it just really Tesla vehicles. So if another vehicle was charging there, Tesla could actually have us remove them from there. That's kind of thing. So from administration's perspective, this is a positive move that further increases the access to electric vehicle charging network across Canada. Speaking to somebody who knows about such things, I do believe he did share that Ford and GM are getting on board sometime this fall. So that's sort of a good thing. That'll be much more standardized anyways. So financial implications not at this time, though, as per the original report in the original lease, there will be a 5% increase applied at the beginning of each 5-year renewal period. We're just about to enter into that first 5-year renewal. So the options are that council approve the amendment to bylaw 27-2018 Tesla supercharger agreement and that the appropriate amending bylaw be brought forward. Option 2 is that council not approve the amendment and direct administration otherwise. Administration is recommending that we approve the amending bylaw.
Any questions? What do they pay us, John?
It's 1,000, I think, per year. So it'll be the number is actually at least 1,000. Whatever.
Okay.
That percent is.
No questions. Moved by Councillor Aduno, second by Councillor Johnson. Resolved that council approve the amendment to bylaw 27-2018 Tesla supercharger agreement. And that the appropriate amending bylaw be brought forward. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, next item, John, draft committee bylaw.
So the report came a couple of meetings ago and we said we were just going to bring it forward. I can go over the report again, but administration's recommendation at the time was to bring the bylaw forward. Really, this was an opportunity for council to have another look to see if there was anything they'd like to see changed or amended or just comment.
It's rigorous. Like it's right. It's super rigorous going through it all. It's one thing. It's like it really outlines everything with a lot of clarity. That's what, one thing I noticed. I didn't think it was gonna be as rigorous as this, but again, you start a project and you get into it and, yeah.
Any questions on it?
Let's express appreciation.
Yeah.
Administration for being so thorough.
Mhm.
And just once, the strat plan is completed, there is that last column there, in case council didn't notice, that allows for a council specific mandate to a specific committee as part of the strat plan.
Yeah.
We would probably do that through something like ministerial letters to do at the provincial and federal levels, so. So far to be available to the public.
Okay. We have a motion moved by Counselor Johnson.
Can I add one thing? Sorry. One of the things that came to my mind when I was going through the one section, the appendix A terms of reference. Even if we could do, for me personally, just knowing like when these meetings are happening a little bit more, like, so I'm on the library board and whatnot, and I don't really see it advertised like a lot. It'd be great if we had a calendar like on the website that said like, hey, these are the different board meetings. Am I missing it? Does that exist? Or these different meetings?
It may exist on the library website for the board meetings.
Right.
Mary may take care of that herself for that particular committee. One of the initiatives administration is going to do is actually get the committees to start using our iCompass agenda system, so they can be posted, available to the public on the website, just sort of a modernization thing.
Yeah.
So
Well, exactly. And that's when I started looking at this biannually or like monthly, it's sort of like, well, I'm not even being on council. A lot of the times I'm not aware of what's happening with other committees. So just to have that information piece out there, because when Gary's doing his community development, sometimes I get nostalgic and be like, wow, I wish I could just hang out. No, but really like just, and I'm hearing things, I was like, well, maybe I'd want to go to that. And when is it? And I'm sure other community members might feel the same. So that's great that that's happening.
Okay, thanks, Chris. The motion is moved by Counselor Johnson, second by Counselor Duno, resolve the council approve the committee's bylaw as presented and that the appropriate bylaw be brought forward. Any questions on that motion? All in favor? Carried. Brian, you're up. Public Works warranties for the doors.
Thank you. In August of 2022, the township purchased a used 2019 V6N bulldozer with 1 year remaining warranty. Since owning the machine, there have been a few minor issues requiring warranty service. In dealing with these issues, it was suggested that additional warranty be investigated. So administration has negotiated with Toromont Cat and has secured potential extended powertrain and hydraulic warranty for an additional 1 year or 500 hours, whichever comes first, at a cost of approximately $4,400. Administration feels that this is a good investment as modern machines become more complex and more difficult to work on. It is important to note that the extended warranty does not cover the machine's emissions system. The machine does currently carry emissions warranty to August 2024, which would end at the same time as the newly purchased extended warranty. Anytime during the warranty and extended warranty period, an additional 2 years extended warranty can be purchased. Financial implications: if purchased, the warranty will cost approximately $4,400. Final cost will be based upon exact machine hours at the time of purchase. The machine will require an inspection by Toromont Cat Mechanic before warranty begins. Two options tonight. Option one, that council approves the purchase of additional extended warranty for a cost of $4,400. Option two, that council does not approve the purchase of additional warranty and just directs administration otherwise. Administration is recommending option one, that council approve the purchase of the extended warranty.
One question? Gary?
So after this is up, at any time to get another 2 years?
We can, yeah.
Is it cheaper to do that now, or does it matter?
It's unclear.
Okay.
We got options on 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years. The first year is obviously more than the second year, and second year is less. Third year, you know what I mean? As that machine gets older, the warranty price gets more. It looks like it'll be about the same.
Okay.
But it's sort of moving with hours of the machine as well.
Right.
So we feel that this is the best option right now to give us a little bit more time to get a good feel for the machine. And if we want to get the other 2 years, we can buy it for it. That was the intention. Just to put it in perspective, 3 year warranty was $15,300. Whereas the 1 year was $4,400. So just to give you a bit of an idea, but the thought is this will give us till the emissions warranty is done. We'll get an idea of how the machine's going to be.
That makes sense. Appreciate that.
So it's $500, is that like usually what we put on?
Yeah, we do roughly
Yeah.
8 hours a week.
Yeah.
At the landfill, we do a little bit with the machine, sometimes the odd little job,
Yeah.
it might be 10 hours or something. But the 500 to me was a little bit.
Yeah.
I asked for 600 and at 500 or 1,000. So the 500 was safer than the,
Yeah,
and better than the 1,000 because. If it ran out, say in June of next year, we would be into next year's budget anyway to get that addition.
so do we usually put warranty, buy extended warranties, you know?
Never have. This is sort of new. Actually, it was, one of the employees mentioned, maybe we should look at it. I didn't even know there could buy extended. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
But, with the way machines are becoming now, they're getting harder and harder to work on. Like when the guy was down doing that work the other day, he had his laptop on the machine more than he had a wrench on. Right? They're getting more and more complex and more things can go wrong. So
So I got a question, if you have to float that machine to Thunder Bay, does the warranty cover that, or we got to?
and if the mechanic comes here, we have to pay the travel. And it's not cheap. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's no savings on it there either. I've looked at that. Can we save if they're coming to the mail or England or anything? Yes, you pay full travel.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, we have a motion moved by Councilor Duno, second by Councilor Johnson, resolve that council approve the purchase of additional extended warranty for the bulldozer for a cost of $4,400. Any other questions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. Thank you. Luke?
Thank you. During the annual snow melt in very warmer periods in spring and winter, water leaks from the community center roof into the multi-purpose room and onto 3 sheets of the curling club ice. As staff have been unable to locate the source of the leak, professionals were brought in to conduct a roof audit on the community center in May of this year. The attached condition report notes that the 2 slope sections above the arena and municipal offices are in good condition. However, the flat section over top the multi-purpose room, bowling alley and curling club is recommended for new sealant and repairs. Administration is seeking council support to spend up to $20,000 for repairs on the flat roofing section of the community center. This is an unbudgeted expense, as roofing professionals had to wait for the snow to melt prior to performing the roof audit. Administration is recommending that it be completed this year to stop water from leaking onto the curling ice during the 2023-2024 season and prevent future water damage to the community center. It's important to note that the township does lease the curling club from October to March to the Terrace Bay Curling Club for $1,666 per month or $10,000 for a full season. So this is an unbudgeted expense. The administration recommends goes to the annual surplus deficit. Our options. Option A, the council approve up to $12,000 for roof repairs on the community center. Option B, the council does not approve and directs administration otherwise.
Any questions?
It is 12, not 20,000.
The quote is $11,990.
When you first said it, you said 20. So
Oh,
sorry. Wasn't sure we were trying to put 12.
no,
So what kind of guarantee do we have? We'll get, they do all this work and it's still leaks.
we don't have a guarantee.
So they just kind of, oh, looks like it might leak here or.
Yeah, so when they went up and in those reports that are attached, it shows that the cracked areas, and that's where we believe
Yeah.
the leaks are coming from. But there isn't a guarantee for it.
So there was no guarantee, they didn't say you should replace the roof, or that's the next step, I guess, with full leak.
That's correct.
You want me to jump in there, Luke?
Yeah.
I went up on the roof when they were up there, and the roof's actually in pretty good shape. This is what they call a refresh.
Yeah,
They use that term that to tune up some of the joints and stuff, but they did indicate that we don't have to worry about replacing this roof anytime soon. They recommended let's do a little bit of work up there, and it's gonna be in good shape for a while.
so there was a note there about pressure washing or whatever, to clean, get all this stuff off
Yeah.
the roof. We do that or that's them? Oh. Any other questions?
It seems like a no-brainer. I mean, it's
Yeah.
taking care of our facilities.
Okay, we have a motion moved by Councillor Duno, second by Councillor Johnson, resolved that the council approve up to $12,000 for roof repairs on the community center. Any other question? All in favor? Carried. Communication, Caroline Hart.
Thank you, Your Worship. So there is a letter there from Ms. Alexis Warner. She's a parent of a special needs child named Jax. Basically, she's looking for local businesses for donations to have one of these special carts built and brought into Costas. I'm assuming donated to Costas.
Yeah,
So that's the gist of it. They're handmade in the US. They're about $1,500 Canadian. They take about 3 to 6 months to actually manufacture. But again, the lifespan on those carts is actually quite lengthy. So there is a resolution that administration prepared for council, and
So who do we give, if we, whatever, who do we give the money to?
I think really it's open to anything. You could donate directly to her, or you could purchase, depending on how much you're willing to donate, you could purchase a cart yourself as well too. Like it's not there's no closed.
just going to all the local businesses.
I did ask our local grocery store if they also were contributing, and they were personally and as a business were going to.
Yeah.
Put money towards this. They don't see that local investment that way.
I'll just add on, Ali, former student of mine, reached out to me and I spoke to her on the phone about this, and I don't think it's a GoFundMe per se. It's not through that company. If I'm not mistaken, they're donating directly to her. There's 2 local donors as of, I believe it was last Thursday or Friday, that donated $2,000. And that's where she's at right now. And I had mentioned to forward this along to you, that would be the proper channel to go through, but there is money there. And she also had mentioned that she was hoping to get one for Scriber as well. As there's individuals in Scriber that could benefit from this as well. So, as part of when she reached out to me, I forwarded a request to the company by email for a quote with shipping in Canadian dollars. I haven't heard back. That was Wednesday or Thursday, like I said, time we're blended together. I haven't heard anything back from them. However, I could also give them a call or get her to give them a call or blah blah blah, just to get more, because that's 1,500 Canadian. I'm not sure how accurate that might be. It might be 1,500 US plus shipping. And if I'm not mistaken, they're out of West Virginia or Vermont, or my American geography isn't the greatest, but again, and if you're ordering 2.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor, like what are we willing to donate?
I think it's hard to know without knowing that full cost. To know where any,
Right.
but I mean,
I think it'd be prudent to get a quote. I think a quote for 2, and then reaching out to Ali and say, like, how much money has been donated from the community, and then revisit it to see what that difference was. But a quote with shipping, sorry to interrupt, Gary, but a quote with shipping, I think is important. No,
yeah, I think it's okay too to set it, to say, like, as to, lead our community in this avenue too, to go, hey, we're willing up to, I don't know if we can decide like when we send the check, but we'll donate up to so much. I think it's a worthwhile, because I mean, as this child grows, I mean, there'll be others.
Yeah,
that
motion,
right?
right?
Community, it's not a.
Authorize the donation towards the acquisition of Caroline's.
Right.
So,
which I think if we knew, like, so for example, we could say, okay, we'll give $1,000, but if it was say 11, if we knew what that dollar amount was moving forward to actualize this project, I think it would be a little bit more information that way would be.
okay, we can defer it to
Okay.
next meeting, and
I think so.
hopefully they can.
I can
get
reach
back
out to
you.
Ali again.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I asked her, she had received a quote and she said no, which is why I did that, but I'll put that on my list of things to do to circle back to that tomorrow.
So we're gonna just put it under the bottom of the file.
Yeah, just right to July 4th.
Okay. Thank you.
Next Like, no.
Right, yeah,
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
right. Give me 1 second, just put a note in. All right, the 9D municipality of Trent Cities just caught my attention. Just where we live and with 94 calls action and truth and reconciliation, I thought it would be important to support this. What's the word? Is this a motion? Yes. If this is from another municipality.
Be a resolution support.
Okay.
Yeah.
Resolution of support. Just to add in that, the second piece, if you look at the second page, it says therefore it is, therefore be it resolved that council requests the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing that the following changes be made to the municipal oath of office. This is, I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to his King Majesty Charles III, and that I will faithfully observe the laws of Canada, including the Constitution, which recognizes and affirms the Aboriginal and treaty rights of First Nations, Inuit, Métis people, and further that this resolution be forwarded to blah, 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 right? So I think just having that line to also recognize that it's important for the municipality moving forward. And I'd like to, sorry, the word, support this,
Support the resolution.
support the resolution. Thank you.
Resolutions, so they're allowed to put it.
Need a motion?
A seconder, yeah. This motion is basically that we could,
Here, I got it.
that we support the resolution of Trent Lakes and then just include the wording.
Yeah.
You have a mover? Who was that?
Seconder.
Oh, here, Chris, can you sign that,
Yep.
please? Oh.
Okay, I'll second it.
Thank you.
Oh, you can tell. They made that G really big. Oh.
We're getting used to your signatures now.
As you're right, my only thought or question is that even when we did our swearing in ceremony, we did do our land recognition in that moment
Right.
too. So we do already as a municipality include the idea, I guess, the principle of it. So I think, yeah, we're already that far. We might as well take the next step and support this too. And should the minister decide to pursue it, we can all redo the oath if we really want to. At Carolyn start, they actually have a Canadian phone number, Toronto number to call for Canadian sales.
Okay. And it's also for seniors as well, and or like elderly people. It's not strictly for disabled people, right? It's
Hope we don't have any fights over it.
right.
Reserve the card for me at 10 o'clock.
That's good.
Resolve the council supports resolution 2023-119 of the municipality of Trent Lakes. With respect to the requested changes to the municipal oath of office to include reference to Aboriginal and treaty rights of the First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. And then I have in brackets as written by Trent Lakes, so we'll include
Yeah.
the whole resolution.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying includes the whole resolution, just for clarity.
Appreciate that.
Okay, that was moved by Counselor Dubé, seconded by Counselor. All in favor? Carry. Next item are the bylaw. Moved by Counselor Aduno, seconded by Counselor Johnson, resolve the council approve the amendment to the Tesla supercharger agreement to be read a first, second, and third time, finally passed, signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed and numbered the 19th day of June 2023. Any questions on that? All in favor? Carry. Next item, moved by Counselor Aduno, seconded by Counselor Johnson, resolve that council approve the bylaw to establish a policy in terms of reference for committees to council be read a first, second, and third time, finally passed, signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed and numbered this 19th day of June 2023. Any questions on that motion? All in favor? Carried. Next item is other business and resolutions is the community gardens, and I know, Chris, I know you sent us, you wanna talk about, explain, yes. Mike, are you here about that by any chance?
About the community garden,
Yeah,
more out of just an interest in what the proposal is. I haven't heard anything specific on
okay, may I have Luke or Chris can explain it.
Do you wanna go ahead?
Then happy to. Looking to plant a community garden on the Terrace Bay, identified a plot of land that is behind St. Martin's Church. The township owned property, township maintained property. It's a very central location in the township with water access. So this was brought forward at the May 15th council meeting as an information item. I think community garden, or the basic idea behind it is that certainly we have a non-biodiverse piece of land right now. We can benefit a lot of individuals through food security, northern food sovereignty, which is a phrase descriptive. Certainly there's a lot of physical, social well-being aspects to the community garden. Really benefit the residents.
Okay, John.
Just there is a partnership between the township and the high school for construction of these as well too.
Mhm.
Okay, you're probably gonna add that.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
So there's like, how many boxes, Chris?
Okay, so essentially the food should be grown in non-treated wood. So we opted to go for cedar. We bought a flat, I believe it's called, of cedar for approximately $3,500. I hustled about $3,000 of that through various grants from donors. And we made that purchase in collaboration with the township. They picked up the rest of the tab for that. Right now, we have enough cedar for 15 boxes. Doing some math, it's a 40 by 60 spot. There is a pole there, but I think that breaks it up in a good way. So we thought that we could, by we, I mean the students that I brought there, and I had them drive, sort of like, let's do the math, let's figure out. So 4 by 8 boxes, we could do 15 4-foot by 8-foot boxes. We have them, the boards that we got were 2-inch by 5-inch. So we're looking at 3 of them on top of each other. And that just allows them to be a little bit warmer for our growing climate, right? So right now we've got enough for 15. Ideally, I think the location probably would benefit from 20, but that's what the funding allowed for, and we can easily add more, right? It's not difficult to do that in the future. However, as well as like the actual plans for what this garden is going to look like, well, which way is it going to be oriented? Is there going to be a design to it? How we do maximize the space? I think that those conversations still haven't been had, because we were when Luke and I were having our discussions, it was more of a collaboration between the school, the township and whatnot of this. So that's where we're at right now from the teacher perspective in the township, I guess. So Carrie.
Yeah, I know that it's still up to the community development committee as well. A number of our meetings has been talked about. And seems to be every time it's been brought up, overwhelming support for project and the location at the community development committee from, and it's a pretty diverse committee of members, if I don't say so myself. But we have younger generations, older generations represented there. I don't think anyone necessarily part of the senior centers on the committee, but again, certainly an overwhelming response to the location from that.
Can I just add, one of the feedback points from the email that we received last week was the amount of money that was spent on it. So it would be the grass that's removed, like that border, I would leave it. So that would become a natural, like we're not removing that wood, right? It would be the grass that we're gonna remove, and see where that hole is, like that back corner could be for, how can I say this? A non-food compost could fit back in there pretty nicely. That's not 100% sure, but like, what are you gonna do with the weeds? How do you dispose of the weeds, right? So that would be what I would call a non-food composting station. Again, so it would just be the grass that's removed. It's a beautiful flat spot. If you notice to the right-hand side of that blue door, there's a hose right there. If you notice in the back left, in the parking lot, there's a shed there. So any materials, so yeah, there's the hose right there. And then it also has a shed in the back. So again, you're gonna need to store like one shovel, like a rake, maybe a watering can or two for the winter. And that's an ideal location. So again, it would just be the removal of that grass. Now, whether the 4x8 go one way or the other, these are like conversations that we can have collaboratively at a latter date, but at least those were the pros of that location.
Any questions, Mike?
Yeah, if I may, I can't speak specifically on behalf of the seniors organization. I'm just a member, I'm not part of the executive. But a couple of questions come to mind. First of all, the shed belongs to the senior center, so
Yeah.
has any discussion at all transpired between the seniors executive and member of council or someone that's pushing this project forward?
Well, we talked to, what's her name, Edna, right?
Yeah, but Edna's not on the board, she's just,
Yesterday I talked to Gail,
okay,
Mike, and she basically didn't wanna have anything to do with it. I talked to Howard today about it, and I know when he called me there last week, he said, I think he might have been got one too many zeros there. He told me he spent $12,000 on that lawn, but Gail told me he spent $200 a year for the last 6 years on fertilizer on that lawn, which is $1,200. It's not 12,000. But anyways, and then Howard said, well, if the town decides to, put it somewhere else, I want to look after the lawn, but that's also a union thing. So, and like Chris and Gary said, there's been a lot of, positive feedback on having something like that there. So.
Yeah, there's been seniors who have reached out to me, and the proximity to the senior center is something that I found appealing, and others I've talked to as well. And if we do move forward with an assisted living housing complex within the township, to have that, to be able to grow your own food as part of like Luke mentioned, mental health, and where we are relatively isolated, to have that location. Another pro of it as well is it's off of the main highway, so you don't have people sort of pulling over and getting into it. If we ever wanted to put a camera up, we've got internet there. Hopefully nobody messes with it, but you do have that option as well. You could say, oh, let's put it by the Tesla charging station. While you're right uptown, you're having all sorts of people come through. So I feel like, and the proximity to the high school as well. So as the teacher there, I can bring my students they're within 5 or 10 minutes. Just so we're clear too, there's not gonna be any grass at all. So if you were to keep grass in between the 4x8 beds, you're gonna be walking along that grass, it's gonna wear out. It's not, you're not gonna maintain it like a carpet, essentially. You would wanna replace it with something that is more durable. Ryan, which word do you use? Pea gravel?
Yeah, the intention was to remove the sod and topsoil, put a gravel, pack it hard, put the beds on, and then put stone in between at a later date. Would be that to be, or just be clear stone.
Right. So again, Michael, I'm not sure, like, again, reaching out or speaking with some of the members at the senior center, how interested would some of them be, or to, hey, you can come out your back door and have your own plot there for the summer.
You know, that area gets used now by the seniors for activities, when they have barbecues and that sort of thing.
Right.
So in the summertime, it does get pretty well utilized. However, we do recognize that that is township property, doesn't belong to the senior. So if the town wishes to put in a municipal garden there, that's their prerogative. And as, again, I can't speak on behalf of the executive of the seniors club, but I know my wife is secretary of the seniors committee, and there's been no formal discussion at the seniors table about this project going forward. So I don't know if there's going to be any feedback or management. The only other question I would have would be who's going to be responsible for the maintenance and how you get access to it. Who's going to look after?
I was prepared to absorb that as part of my class for the school year, and then the 2 months that it's summertime, I would assume that the idea was that we would raffle off the garden beds for a nominal price. I don't want to say a price, a nominal price, and then that would go back into say like any kind of like monetary maintenance that needed to be done. But in the winter time, let's say, so here's a hypothetical situation. You're in senior, you win this raffle, you pay a nominal fee, you have a 4x8 plot, you grow your vegetables, you're gonna take care of your plot, right? Because you're growing, that's where your food is coming from. When the season's over, all of your say like weeds or your growing waste, like your stems and whatnot, can be we can help. And I did this with the Scriber Community Garden for 3 years. It's just become cost ineffective. One of the reasons why I brought this forward to Luke, and we've collaborated on it, is it's cost ineffective to go to Scriber, and we should have something like this in Terrace Bay. Scriber's had a community garden for I'm not sure how many years, but multiple years. So I brought my class there multiple times to help the seniors there, like pull it, rototill it, and then get it ready in the fall for the next year. And so I'm prepared to take it on for 10 months of the year. And then those 2 months or 3 months of the growing season, I would assume there'll be like nominal maintenance required that the township, like say if the water, the hose broke, or like, a shovel needed to be repaired. Those are sort of like minor things that I would foresee happening. Your major is your prep work at the end of the season for the next year. And that's when I run my outdoor program, and that fits in perfectly with our food systems unit.
Okay. Bruce, you have anything?
Yeah, thank you.
A little bit of history. Last week, I got a call. You're the senior rep. Get down here right now. Howard's got to talk to you. So I went down. No, I didn't know what it was about till I got there, and it started. I've spent $12,000 on this chunk of property. The president isn't here right now. I'm number 2, so now I'm number 1, and I'm saying no right now. So it was nobody's been consulted, and I don't want this going forward. Well, what happens if most of the seniors do? Well, nobody's been consulted. So now, isn't this a good idea? you know, well. When it came down to, I said I would talk to him and just. It's a no-brainer to me, but then again, you know, I'm only one that maybe it could be smoothed over and. But the seniors barbecue on Friday. Howard approached me again and said I was told that it was going to be dealt with at the council meeting. He said, we'll be there to express our views. And so I thought, well, okay, if people come out and express a view one way or the other, but nobody is here to express their views.
I talked to Howard this morning in front of the post office and he didn't really have much to say. He said, let me know either way. If you guys go with the garden, I'm done. I'm not gonna look after anything, so. And like I said, I talked to Gail yesterday and she didn't have enough time to either way.
Have any questions from you, Luke? Obviously, I'm very passionate about this. I think it'd be a great addition to the community. And like as Luke mentioned, like lack of biodiversity in that area is just like, there's lots of, I get it. It's a spot close to the senior center and I can understand. And the lack of consultation, I think is, I'm really listening to that and saying like, hey, how can I improve person as a counselor or as a teacher, just as a community member to increase that communication. So I'll take that. Maybe I'll go for a visit this week. 10 o'clock, 10:30, are you guys in there? Yeah. Oh, well,
Respectfully, if I may suggest,
yeah,
ideally, making an arrangement to address the executive seniors on one of the meetings
okay,
to get on the agenda. Because that's what I said to Howard this afternoon. He said to me, after we finished my golf, I want to go to that meeting tonight, but I know that if I get started saying stuff, I don't want to say anything. And I said, well, first of all, if you're not on the agenda, you really can't say unless you're asked.
yeah,
So if you want to have something to say, you better be on the agenda.
yeah, I don't
Having
even,
said that, my suggestion, and it's just a suggestion, is that you are a member of council, would request to Gail to attend the executive meeting, just to explain what it is that the proposal is. And again, the seniors recognize that they're tenants on the property. So if the town should proceed with that, that's up to them. That's, it's a done deal. But just as a constitution process that needs to keep the waters calm.
When's the next meeting, Mike? You know,
I can answer that.
okay, well, we'll move on then.
I can find out.
Yeah.
Talk with John and let
Yeah.
him know if that's what you would like to do.
Yeah, let us know when it is.
Okay.
I mean, we're not planting anything this year, you know, so. But we'd like to get something, I mean, Chris has the boxes all made up, you know, we'd like to get moving and spent $3,500 on it, so. And, okay, thanks. The next item, moved by Counselor Aduna,
Nope.
John, sorry.
Sorry, just for clarity, from administration's perspective, we're not moving forward with it at this time.
So Chris. Talk to the seniors, explain to the seniors what we want to do.
Well, so I think. Just from what I'm picking up, the issue is that the garden itself, the issue is the lack of conversation about space. So I think we're moving forward with this. It's just,
Well, I didn't say we weren't moving
no,
forward.
I just don't understand, like, I mean, I get the consultation, but. What are we waiting for? Just to have another conversation, like we already.
Also, Chris can explain it,
Yeah.
you know, what we want to do, you know.
I think frankly, I just explained it.
Yeah, so the other thing, like we never received a formal letter from the seniors center about this or the executive. Like they could have easily wrote a letter to council about this. All I go off of is, one of the other councilors saying, hey, I talked to this person and they're upset. Like we do have pretty formal process and easy enough for them to express that. I mean, I'm just kind of my thought. I don't know how much more we need to, like, I'm fine if we want to go to the meeting and just talk about it, but
Here's what's happening.
I mean, if your class is ready to put the boxes in next week, I'm like, put the box, I'm not saying they are.
I know, I get it.
That's my feelings.
Anything to add, Dirk?
I hate to see people upset. But no matter which way it's done. Now, there's going to be people upset. And I don't, I am upset about the way that one person can say, I'm number one right now. It's no. And now he told you that however it's decided, if it goes ahead with the boxes, I'm done with it. I'm not gonna do anything.
I guess for clarity with that, and just from my perspective is, we have one voice that's hearing that, and we don't have the full voice. It's not a formal from the executive, this is how we feel. It's just one person that we know of. And I guess I would want that clarity before we put a pause on it to go, is this an actual voice behind this, or is it just one voice? Because we don't have that. Right now, it's just one voice, one person.
That's the only one I've heard.
Right, so
I'm still willing to present. However, going back on what you're saying, is like moving forward with this, and then I can come and say like, yeah, this is what we are doing. I can explain to them the whole concept of raffling it off. I feel that many, just what people have said to me, many people are interested in this sort of garden, just from accessibility and all of that. Say, okay, this is what we're doing. I can still present it to them and gain their, like, get their feedback. However, it's going back, is like, yeah, are we kiboshing it off of this one individual? And I personally think we should still move forward with this project as it was outlined. And I could still meet with the seniors. I have no problem doing that.
Yeah, I mean, Terrace Bay hasn't had a horticultural, so they used to have a horticultural society years ago, and you know, I think a lot of people might say, well, I can have a 4x8 garden versus a 20x40 garden what I had when I was, you know, 40 years younger or whatever. So, yeah, I'm not saying don't go ahead with it. All I'm saying is explain what we're doing, you know? So, I mean, once they see what we're doing or want to do, you know?
It's not going to be ready probably until mid-October at now. I got 1 week of school left, it's exams. However, site prep is important. Having sort of everything sort of packed and settled down, and then moving the beds over and then having them set up and having my class fill in with that'll be by mid-October. So having them mostly prepped before the winter would be important. So
yeah,
again, moving forward with this, yeah, I think it's important that we do that to make sure it's ready for next year.
yeah. Clear, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, it's
I'd go out.
it's a council decision, obviously. I think that, I don't know that all the seniors on the executive or the membership is opposed to it, they just don't know about it. It's a lack of communication, and to further to Councilor Juno's point, I mean, we only heard about this through the grapevine. There was no presentation or nothing said to the seniors executive that I'm aware of, that council is looking at this opportunity. If that had been just the first approach, rather than just leaving it out in the community, that it filters down People get the wrong idea. And I think just having a member of council, regardless of who it is, come forward and explain to the executive at least. What's being proposed, and why it's being proposed. I don't see an argument against it, it's just that. People want to understand what is being proposed.
I could appreciate that and I can step in.
Yeah, and even when I think about our next CDC meeting for the next proposal, my first question is, okay, we were putting a garden at the golf course, well, we better go down to the golf course. As well, and just invite them to the conversation, so I do appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for that feedback.
Okay. Motion moved by Counselor Duno, second by Counselor Johnson, resolved at the regular council meeting. The next regular council meeting be held Tuesday, July 4th, 2023. At 6:30 in the council chambers, all in favor? Carried.